Now we review the 2025 film Popeye the Slayer Man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I am on a mission to find as many of the copyright clickers as I can find, and Popeye the Slayer Man is, of course, a rip on Popeye the Sailor Man, which has entered the public domain, making it one of the clickers. That, along with films like, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Now, Popeye the Slayer Man is not associated with any of those, but it follows a group of young dingleberries documenting a cannery, of all things. And this cannery, surprise, surprise, used to make spinach. Okay, canned spinach. And the legend is that Popeye is running around killing people. I have to say that this film is probably the one that best uses the lore of the franchise. I mean, the character Popeye is essentially a mutant of some kind, and it's explained why he's a mutant. He used to be human and all those things, as opposed to the fact of Popeye, who was based on a real person who looked that way for very good reason. I mean, Popeye had big forearms because he was a seaman. He used to row. He ate spinach because that's what he remembered. He had fond memories of it on ship. And he probably had that bad eye because at some point he had a stroke and probably never took care of it. He was a bachelor who spent the last of his days working as a bouncer in a bar, and he was paid for being the inspiration behind Popeye, who originally appeared on Thimble Theater, but as Popeye became such a popular character, the comic strip was renamed to Popeye. So yeah, there you have it. Now, this particular story, you have a maze, people are stuck inside, being stalked by the seamen. And, there's nothing particularly interesting about this film, other than it falls into the category of, this is a Popeye movie, a Popeye out of copyright movie. And this is a whole subgenre of film now, with many films being made to fill this niche. But whereas the last Popeye movie I saw dealt with a lake instead of the ocean, this cannery is actually at least close enough to the ocean to make sense. Where Popeye got his uniform, we don't know, but I mean, maybe he was a mascot. That could have been a little better explained. But what am I expecting from these kind of trash horror movies? So now look, is this a good movie? No. Is it better than Popeye's Revenge? Absolutely. And there was more nudity in Popeye's Revenge. So Popeye the Slayer Man, it's the lower half of your watch list. If you saw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and its sequel, Popeye the Slayer Man should definitely be a film you should check out. If you saw both of those and was like, I don't want any more of this crap, then you would let it lie. That's just my opinion. And I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I'm Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Fred the Facehugger, and I'd like to point out that this world isn't a nice place. But you know who's trying to make it a nice place? The owner of this channel, yes. The owner of this channel does things like pay for ocean cleanup, and have trees planted, and even feed orphans in an orphanage in Mexico. Yes, it's a real thing. I'm not kidding. I may be a face-hugging alien from a horror movie, but I'm not a liar. Anyway, when you comment, like, and subscribe, you're supporting that better world, and whereas it may not make a big difference, it may be the difference between one more tree planted, one more pound of trash out of the ocean, or one child not going hungry tonight. So, think about it. Shouldn't you comment? Shouldn't you like? Shouldn't you subscribe? I certainly would if I were you. I'm Fred.